BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top traders. If you sign up with the link in the description, you get a free $100 when you deposit $100. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm going to make a video on INJ. That's right, something I've never really, I've never made a video on it before, but we look at it occasionally on the live stream. So we're doing one tonight if you want to join that. Patreon live streams, links in the description below. But I thought I'd just bring this to your attention, not because it's anything amazing, but it's just like a nice chart to look at, to see something that it's not just gone into a decent, more than a decent, like an epic uptrend, but also something that's respected. It's the TA really. So we had this first initial big run up from the beginning of the year. So basically, what, just short of a well, it was, wasn't it? It was a 10x, wasn't it? Just short of a 10x. And then from there on, it's now started to generate its own thing going on from a higher level, so it hasn't retraced to a massive extent. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it went down 50% or so, but after a 10x, you know, that's only fair. That's only fair. So the first thing I just wanted to show you is that, look, first, these symmetrical triangles that you get like this, right? There's two things to note about what we saw in this symmetrical triangle. First of all, symmetrical triangles are 50-50 formations, really. So you look to see if we can either make a break to the up or to the down. Normally, and you'll probably hear me say it all the time when I'm looking at these formations. Normally, with any formation that has an apex towards the end, you want the formation to break way before the end of the apex. You see these things on Twitter and whatnot, and they're saying, "Oh, look, here we are, we're going to break." Normally, that would result in like a fake out, so whoop, and then back down again, and maybe down or back up again. So the move is usually counter to the original breakout or breakdown. So what we saw here is we saw this up, down to the bottom, up to the top, fanning around on the bottom, and then we saw the breakdown with plenty of room before the end of the apex, and so we had continuation. So once we got down to this level, we came into this buy zone box, right? The buy zone box, more or less, from this breakout area, but also the bottom of it all the way down here. So all of this would have been considered a buy zone. And also, if you think about where we came from the peak to that low, that was a 43% move. So to be fair, reasonable to think about picking it up around those at your first option around those levels. It happened again over here. So anyway, we got the follow through. So then we started to form this rising channel. Rising channels often break down, right? So you see a rising channel, it's more likely to break down than break out. What we got was a rising channel up to the top, down to the bottom, up to the top, down to the bottom, and then we broke. So we broke down from there back into the buy zone. While all this is happening, we've still got a very, 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 very well-established golden cross that took place all the way down here. Classic golden cross retest, which is something you should usually try to take advantage of wherever you see it on more or less any time frame, to be honest with you. And so you can see that. So you got your golden cross. Hey, we're golden crossing. Classic dump after the golden cross. What? I thought that was a signal. All the way back up again. Yeah, here we go. And the retest. Lovely. So that would be where I would enter. If I was around at the time. I never saw this at the time, but you know, we see it on the channel all the time. I show it you on all the charts, really. Everything usually does something like that. And so you got your bang on golden cross retest, which launched it from, what was the price, $2.50 just up to around $10. So really awesome move there, really. So and again, it's neat and it's tidy. This chart should be plastered on Investopedia for all kinds of reasons, whether it's the golden cross retests, whether it's the formation breakdowns on the symmetrical and a rising channel. So there's one thing I was obviously put to you on this chart is that look, historically this has ticked every single box of the TA. The TA 101 really. It's done everything you'd ever expect it to do. If you were to read the very basics of TA, it's performed pretty much exactly as expected. So if that's the case, can we continue to take it seriously right now? That's the main thing. And can we take it seriously still? It did the golden cross retest perfectly. It broke down and out of formation perfectly. Did it again over here perfectly. So what are we right now? So first of all, we're above all major moving averages. We had a pump signal on the Ichimoku cloud, which is something that we haven't really looked at on this chart. We can think, all right, fine, you like formations, okay, fine, you like moving averages. Maybe you like Ichi clouds too. Are you going to respond well to that? So if that's the case, that was generated down here as 760. We're currently trading at 8. We're above all major moving averages with a pump signal that's kind of generated around those levels. Now, you can make the case that we pumped already, but on a daily, maybe that wasn't the pump signal. Maybe there's further to go. And look, we're still diverging. Moving averages are more or less in the right place. The 200 and the 50 are still diverging and trending up quite dramatically, to be fair. Money flow index is trickling down nicely. So consolidation from this last run that we had over here, all the way down to a 21 exponential, which is easily just as important as a Bollinger Band. You can have a 21 exponential tagged here, Bollinger Band tagged here, 21 here. So as far as I can tell, we're 65% more likely to actually move up from here. Seems like a decent chart to expect that, and given the fact that we're trending up. Not all altcoins look like this. Most altcoins don't look like this. They aren't trending like this. They aren't responding that well to any of their own signals. They're basically trending with Bitcoin, which, for the most part, is sideways and boring and choppy. So this one's got a lot going for it as far as its, well, how do you want to call it? I mean, its response to setups, at least, anyway. So if that's the case, then first of all, we can assume that we're 65% more likely to make our way up towards the top of the Bollinger Band. So that'll be another move of $1, so back up to $9. Let's have a look at the higher term time frames, which probably look pretty sweet with a chart that looks like that on the daily. It is, and again, look, perfect stuff really. So a big move up, came back down. Not just the buy zone it tagged, but the 20 moving average on the weekly. So the weekly has got a lot going on for it too. The weekly is showing, yeah, we love this. We will respond to all moving averages of all time frames, and we are bullish. And again, 65% more likely to maintain the upper band, so which means a pullback maybe down towards $6.50 to a move up to what, $9.75. Which would most likely have continuation, because at that stage we'll be looking for pump signals to be generated on the weekly Ichimoku cloud. So that'll take us up to our next major level of resistance, which is all the way up here where we did struggle on a weekly basis. So there is definitely a chance, a decent chance, that over the next few months we see INJ up at 1330. MACD above the 0 point, which is fine. We're not seeing any bearish divergence. Actually, that's fine. So let's take it to a short-term moving average. A short-term time frame being the 4 hourly. Fresh golden cross over here. Okay, so there's your fresh golden cross. We had the 50 exponential tested quite a few times with decent responses. Look at that, bang, all the way back up. And another one, look at the size of that wick, bang, all the way back up. So we've lost that now. So as we've lost that and we're sort of fannying around in the center portion of this Bollinger Band, we could move up if the market decides to move up. Or we could move down if the market wants to move down. And the next place I would be looking for would be this area here, 764, 765-ish area. It's a 200 exponential moving average, which would be a golden cross retest. So we've established that this chart loves to use the classic style, of respecting TA, basically, whether it's formations or moving averages, whatever. It's very neat and tidy on the weekly and on the daily and even on the 4 hourly here. So the first thing you would be looking for now, if we do pull back, would be, are we respecting on this level here? Because if we are, then you just go, well, of course it is. It's INJ. It loves everything. It's the most well-behaved chart out there, really. And if that's the case, then I'd say that your first entry for a position in this one would be around there, around 765, 760-ish area. Maybe lower sevens if the 200 simple becomes a thing. I don't think this one is particularly a thing. It might be. Let's have a little look back in time. Slightly messy, but anyway, like I say, yeah, everything works until it doesn't, isn't it? So this might be the time where we go, oh, I thought it was a well-behaved crypto, and it played a trick on us. But for the moment, I just wanted to bring it to your attention that it's a chart that, at least on the daily, looks really, really good. On the weekly, it looks pretty good. On the 4 hourly, there's a short-term opportunity to maybe take a little piece in there. The major buy zone is back down here, down at 568, 570-ish area. But there's a lot of support below us, and I would be looking back at that weekly again. If you've got the opportunity, to pick it up. If you've got the patience for it, you wait for that 20 weekly to get retested again, and have a look at the momentum to see if it's still brewing. Because if it is, then that would be another entry point for us here. So anyway, I'll leave it with you there. It's a good chart. I do like it. It's not very old, so it doesn't have that age component to it, but it is responding well, which is something you normally find with like an old dinosaur coin with a lot more chart history. Because again, all indicators are based around price, volume, and time, and so with that you kind of need a chart which is a little older than this one. This one came into the market October 2020, so it basically only knew the peak of the bull run and then the bear market, but so far it's responding like it might as well be XRP or Ethereum or Bitcoin. It's responding well to setups and doing exactly what you'd expect from it. So with that, there's definitely opportunity in this. It's a strong chart anyway to hold your hands up and go, here's a strong chart. It's obviously volatile. It's done a 10x. You might see a pullback back down to 650 there before a move up into the $13 zone. Either way, it's definitely a strong chart. I don't know anything about the coin or what it does or its utility. I don't know anything about it. But what I can say is that what I see, I quite like, and to be fair, I don't own any, but if I see it move down to those levels, I will buy it. I will buy it down to those levels. From a spot perspective, I'm not going to be trading this stuff on futures. Absolutely not. But I would definitely take a position if we pull back into into the mid $6 zones. Right, thanks for watching. I'll leave it with you there. Thank you, and take it easy.